Coming to you from an undisclosed location, somewhere deep in the heart of the Santa Monica Mountains, I am your intrepid host, L.A. Marzulli. We'll get into that, but first a word from our trusted sponsor. Let me ask you something. If you built up $100,000 or more in investments, do you really want all of it riding on the stock market? Think about it. Banks, billionaires, even entire countries are loading up on physical gold and silver. Why? Because when markets swing, real assets hold their value. That's why I want to tell you about Noble Gold Investments. They make it simple to own investments-grade gold and silver, the same kind the big players are buying. And you can actually hold it in your hand or put it safely in your retirement account. You've worked hard to build your wealth. Isn't it time you protected it? Noble Gold is family-owned, trusted by thousands, and ranked #1 in gold IRAs 4 years in a row. Their precious metal specialists are standing by to answer your questions and walk you through every step. Simple, safe, easy. Visit noblegoldinvestments.com today. That's noblegoldinvestments.com. It's time to protect what you built. Folks, gold right now is at an all-time high, $34.91. $3,491 as of September 1st, 2025. Peggy and I invested in it a few years ago. I am really glad we did. Once again, that's noblegoldinvestments.com, noblegoldinvestments.com. Tell them you heard it from L.A. Marzulli. Thank you.
All right, folks, welcome to Nino's Corner.tv. I'm with L.A. Marzulli, which is world-renowned researcher. You know, I started following you way back in the day, L.A. I've been a big fan of yours. I really do appreciate your work.
Thank you.
And I love that you're a Christian, right? And you really, I really give you a lot of credit for helping my faith along with the Shroud of Turin, because, you know, I was in a time of my life where I was having a lot of doubts, right? And that, I feel that's been proven without a doubt. That is,
I do too.
Christ, calling card. And I mean, that's up for another show, whatever, but
Sure.
you know, but you are, to me, my go-to guy, you know, when it comes to faith and the paranormal, the ufology, the whole thing. I go to you and I say, how does this add up, LA? Anyway, Ellie, we had a, well, first of all, thank you for being here.
Well, it's an honor, and thank you for the kudos. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and read this off real quick, folks. While you're distracted by headlines like these, the insiders are getting ready. Billionaires, big banks, even foreign governments are hoarding gold. They know the dollar is being devalued. They know the next crash is coming. So why don't you own what they're buying? Noble Gold Investments makes it simple to protect yourself with the same investment-grade gold and silver. The elites are stockpiling real assets you can hold in your hand or keep saving your retirement account. Don't wait until it's too late. Visit noblegoldinvestments.com, noblegoldinvestments.com right now, folks. Get started on that. Actually, he's got something a little more rare that he holds in his hand. You want to show it?
Yeah, this is a piece from the Roswell crash and the debris field. I went out there with Chuck Zukowski and Frank Kimmler. We had metal detectors, and we found actually 2 pieces that day. We're the only film company that's ever recorded it coming out of the ground. Out of the ground. It was buried about 8 inches down. And thank you, Frank. Thank you, Chuck. And my business partner, Gil Zimmerman, and I have the whole thing. It's on film. And let me just show you something. The cover, this is the piece, and it's in the palm of my hand right there.
You know for a fact that's football. I guess it would be. You were out there in the area scanning the whole radius, right? The area looking for.
Yeah. And
it'd be, but you've done tests on it, experiments on it.
This is a piece of a metal, a nail, a 12-inch metal spike, which the powers that be pounded these in the debris field to throw off the metal detectors. Oh, wow. Why would they do that? So Frank Kimmler has been out there a gazillion times, and he knew where to go. He knew where to take us outside, you know, the perimeter where they spiked the field. So that's what we did. And lo and behold, he found 2 very close to each other. And he even said, if you find one, there's usually another one. He's been out there, I don't know, 30 times, whatever. And we are the only film company, thank you, Gil Zimmerman, Jim Peterson, and myself, to actually show it being dug up out of the ground. We had it tested at a lab in Los Angeles. It's an aluminum alloy, but it's right in between 2 known aluminum alloys. So more testing needs to be done, and we'll see what happens.
Do you think it's intelligent or like artificial intelligence? Do you think like have you tried to put heat on it or microwave it or
I don't want to do that unless I'm with somebody who really knows what they're doing. But we want to do that with this piece of metal. Absolutely, we want.
is there any etching on it or writing on it or is it?
What was interesting is under a scanning electron, when you look at it, you know something's up. But when you're down 300 or 400 times magnification under a scanning electron microscope, the metal is folded in on itself. It's folded in. How is that even possible? And I'm not making this up, Nino. It's all on film. So our batteries, we have the DSL cameras, and the batteries are fully charged, 99, 100%, and we're out filming in the debris field. Just like that, the batteries get drained. Just like that. We go back, put new batteries in, go back and pick it up. I've seen this before on other sites. That's a very charged site. Something happened there, but it's a skip site. In other words, the craft came in like this. It hit the ground and exploded, and then went another 17 miles before it came to a rest. So when Jesse Marcel goes there, he never sees this. He never sees the UFO. That's other people see that. He never sees it. But he picks up the metal, and he wakes up his wife when he gets back in town, and his son, Jesse Marcel Jr., and the rest of it is history. It's a weather balloon. Nonsense. Absolutely nonsense.
They drove in those nails to purposely set off or throw off the metal detectors. Yeah. How many nails do you know they put out there?
I have no idea, but I'm going by what Frank Kimber told me. And what's interesting is it makes perfect sense because they didn't get all of it. And they know they didn't get all of it. See, they didn't realize that when this thing exploded, these pieces of metal came out like bullets out of a 22 and embedded themselves. It's been like 70 years. That piece of metal sat in the ground for 70 years. We found it. We took it off. It's in the palm of my hand. You can see it right here. We washed it off. It's all on film. We washed it off, and there it is. It's just unbelievable. It really is. It's just unbelievable.
And that metal thing obviously goes to hyperspace, correct? I mean, that's what that does. It's going through some kind of dimensional. It's not. It's able to travel through space, whatever that is, dimensional portals or whatever. That's just crazy. So let's get into this because you watched the 3I-Atlas video I did with. I asked you to watch it. I wanted to get your response on it. Now, David Sarita has contacted me and said, "Hey, I got kind of, I want your audience to know. I know you have a big Christian audience. I want them to know that I too, I'm a Christian." So he made that very clear. I just want to give that to my audience. He did write me that and say that he is a Christian. But you watch this video. What did you gather from it? I mean, does it hold any water? I mean, it seems to me like this 3I-Atlas, we all know it's coming, but I kind of feel like it would be used. First of all, I don't know if I believe that any alien craft will just be using a propulsion system or maybe I don't know anything. But what's your thoughts on this? What's your thoughts on the video I recorded? And folks, if you're just watching this, go watch the video. Go watch the 3I-Atlas video. Decoded it. David Sarita believes that he decoded the comet, the ship, whatever you want to call it. Go ahead, Ali.
Well, but first of all, I don't want to disparage David Sarita. He's not here to defend himself, so we're not going to throw David under the bus. And the other woman, Christine?
It's Carrie.
So we're not going to do that, but I have a different opinion. I have a different take. First of all, Avi Loeb, with all due respect to Mr. Loeb, he has not said and stated that this thing is an extraterrestrial craft. He stated it might be, it could be. And out of a 10, he's got the Loeb scale, kind of self-serving. I won't go there. But, but there's 10 points, and this, whatever it is a 4, and maybe he's upped it from a 3 to a 4 to get some interest. I don't know. I don't know Mr. Loeb's mind. I can't put words in his mouth. And again, I won't disparage him. But we don't know what this thing is. We really don't. Nobody does. And I do find it interesting that, according to David Sarita, that this thing is going to be arriving at certain points at certain time of the feast days. But Sarita is all over the map, in my opinion, as is your woman guest Carrie, all over the map, and they are, in my opinion, completely entrenched in New Age philosophy. They mention the Anunnaki. They talk about Buddha's birthday, Muhammad's birthday. It's this everybody's thrown into this big cosmic melting pot, as it were.
And as if ever, like it's the all religions are right.
Exactly.
They're all so. In other words, the comet is just reaffirming that every religion is true in its own way. That's what I got from it.
And this is what I call the coming great deception. I mean, I've written about this, for decades and warned about it. That when they show up, this is exactly what they're going to say. And both David Serena and Carrie were saying essentially the same thing. That Buddha and Krishna, Muhammad and Jesus, they're all avatars. They're not really gods. Don't go there. The Anunnaki were here before any of these people, but the Anunnaki are just fallen angels. It's pre-flood stuff. It's Genesis 3:15, Genesis 6. And Dr. Mike Heiser, we were never really close. He wrote some hit pieces on me. He passed away a few years ago. So I won't disparage Heiser, but here's the deal. Mike has this wonderful thing on his website, Sitchin is Wrong, www.Sitchin is Wrong. You can go to the actual clay tablets yourself and see what they're talking about with all this stuff. And so Heiser challenged him to a debate. Sitchin wouldn't do it, but go to the site, Sitchin is Wrong, and see, Ancient Aliens and others, they constantly promulgate the Anunnaki. And yeah, there you go, Sitchin is Wrong. And when you go there, and Mike Heiser shows you how to do it, you can actually go and see for yourself what this is talking about. Because in Heiser's view, it's a complete mistranslation. And I concur. But this is what they say, the New Agers and people who have this sort of a New Age cosmology, which both guests on your show, in my opinion, because they just put everything into some sort of,
Call it how to wedded all religions together, kind of served it to the public, and aliens are coming here. I would agree. I mean, even though David Serena did contact me and say he's a Christian, I kind of took that away as well. Like, he's not here to defend himself, so I'm not going to say anything about it. I get what you're saying. Correct.
I mean, I also took, and I'm sorry about his deceased wife. I find that very, very difficult. That's got to be a very difficult time for him. And again, but the dead does not speak to us. And if it does, anybody who has a word from a dead relative, wife, husband, or otherwise, that's essentially necromancy. And it's not done unless there's some sort of a door that's open. Now, if it's a dream, that's a different deal. And I don't know whether David had a dream with a voice. I don't know. But I'm very suspect of just that in itself. I'm also suspect in the way that all these dates come up and to the Jewish calendar and feast days and Buddha's birthday and Muhammad's birthday and all this stuff and Jesus' resurrection. Again, it's this big melting pot, amalgamation of all the world's religions, which is exactly what I have warned against for decades. When and if they do show up, and they will show up at some moment, whether it's this or something else, they are going to make themselves known. I just did a show, a couple of, and I don't think it's posted yet, but Peggy, my wife, was driving from Lake Erie back to Pittsburgh area where her family is. They went up to look at real estate up there, maybe buy a summer home. Her sister wanted to buy a summer home. Didn't happen. But on the way back, there's a UFO right in front of the car. I mean, it's in the distance. It's long, cylindrical. It's not a blimp. It's moving very, very slowly. Definitely not a blimp. And she took 2 pictures of it. The UFO phenomenon is real. I want you to look at this. This is our 10-box DVD set. This is the Kumbergaz UFO right there. I think it's the best picture ever taken of a UFO. It shows the 2 entities inside the UFO, and it's a Kumbergaz UFO. Dr. Roger Lear took that picture over a decade ago. Richard Shaw, my late business partner, actually had the original film from Dr. Roger Lear. He went over it frame by frame. So we know, yeah, there you go. So we know that the film is real. It's not doctored. It's not Photoshop. The critics say, oh, it's this, it's that. Excuse me. We broke the story in our Watchers film series, 11 films there. We broke the story in it. Dr. Roger Lear is on the record in that film series also are 10 DVD box set saying that, look, I was there. This is some of the best UFO footage ever taken. We know that the phenomenon is real. We know that Congress is talking about it. And supposedly this week, there's going to be some sort of a intel drop. I mean, who knows? It's a dog and pony show. They haven't said anything that I don't know, except David Grush, stating on the record for the first time, I mean, officially on the record, I've known about this for decades, but now it's officially on the record in Congress that we have retrieved non-human biologics from these crashed UFOs. Now that's big, because now that's on the official record, it's there, but these people are being threatened. There's no doubt about it.
I also noticed in the UFO community, I've dabbled in it a little bit. I've gone to some MUFON conventions. I've done a couple of those things way, way back in the day. But I noticed that everyone is right and everybody else is wrong. That's what I noticed about this community is I'm right, you're wrong. It's this, it's that. And that's what I'm seeing. Oh, they're the Pleiadians, or it's always something that goes with their belief. It's kind of like also the Bible, how people interpret the Bible. It's, I noticed that within this community, but I believe if the government's bringing it to us, then it's obviously a psyop, man, and it's going to be used to control humanity or they're not bringing it out for our own good. They're going to do it to bring in control, global dominance, global prison planet, or a one world government. That's what I think is coming from this, and I think it's all deception. And I don't believe, and if the beings have been here, they've been here for millennia, they've been here forever, and they're not just going to all say, you know what, let's show ourselves they're ready, let's do it. It's not. I don't see it happening like that, but I see the government doing it like that to control us. Am I right?
Well, I think in part they are, in part you are, definitely. But this goes back to the whole Genesis 3:15 narrative, where the seeds are mingling, where they're creating these hybrid entities, which is really the essence of my work that I've been doing for decades. It all goes back to Genesis 3:15. Jesus is in the garden. He says to the dragon, your seed, your offspring will be at war with the offspring of the woman. And that's exactly what happens. It's like 6 chapters later, we get the whole Genesis 6 narrative, and these hybrid beings, the Nephilim, are walking on the earth, which is a result of the flood. Then Jesus says it'll be like the days of Noah when he returns. What differentiates the days of Noah? The Nephilim are on the earth. So we know that the phenomenon is real. It's burgeoning, not going away. We know that UFOs are there. We know that people have retrieved UFOs. 1947 Roswell crash. Too many deathbed confessions from people. The Telegram. I mean, it's all in our 2 films on Roswell. We don't have time to dissect every little bit. But I believe when I wrote about it, again, another shameless plug. Look, there's 32 films and 15 books. I can't apologize for that. So we have an hour together, and if you want to do a deep dive, get this or get the 10-box DVD set. But the rungs of disclosure, I posit, now there's only 17 rungs in that book. It was published last October. We're coming up on a year. If we go to runsofdisclosure.com, there's actually 21 rungs now on the ladder. So from 17, we're up another 4 rungs, for crying out loud, and it's going up. And with the Anapolito clip that I showed just recently, it's almost another rung. I think we're going to get another rung on the ladder this week.
Well, see, David Sarita said that Anapolina said that we're going to actually, which sounds just outrageous to me, spill this comet or ship when it's going away out of the solar system, because we have cameras on what planet? What is it? Which one is the one it's exiting? And on the 26th, December 26th, it's leaving our solar system, and we're gonna take film of it on the outer parts of the solar system. I can't buy it. I can't buy it, man. I'm sorry. I just don't ridiculous even saying this.
Well, I mean, the thing is, look, if this thing comes in and it stops, okay, everybody sit up, and pay attention. I get that. But that's not what we're looking at. And just because this thing allegedly, hits all these festivals, birthdays, feast days, markers, yeah, thank you. That doesn't mean anything. I mean, to me, it's interesting. And look, this is where I'm at with this kind of stuff. You keep it on the back burner. Just like there's rapture fever going through the Christian community, or we're gonna get beamed up on the 23rd. Jesus is coming back. He might be coming back. I don't know that. Okay? I pray to God it is the 23rd because we're at the window of time where you can't fix this anymore. You and I have talked about this with AI and all the stuff that's going on. I get it. All the markers are here for the rapture of the church. But I'm not, look, I'm not a day setter. I have no idea. My hand is on the plow. I'm working on films. I'm working on books. I'm doing shows like this. We're focused. You know, it's on the back burner. And that's how I am. Remember the first asteroid, whatever it was, that came in, and Avi Loeb was saying, well, it might be an alien probe or something. What was it? Oumuamua, or however you pronounce it. Oumuamua.
I mean, I remember these happening since Heaven's Gate. And I remember.
Well, I see everything, right? Right, except Heaven's Gate. And look what happened to them, right?
Yeah.
Drink the Kool-Aid, folks.
Kind of like the same thing to me. I don't know.
You put it on the back burner. That's how I view all this stuff. I mean, the rapture of a church, Rosh Hashanah, Yom Teruah, the hidden day, all that. People even know about it. They need to know what the Bible says about the rapture because it is an event, and I think it could be very soon. Could be the September 23rd. Why not? You know, I applaud that. But I don't live my life, you know, having that rule my life. Just like I don't have this, whatever this thing is out there and coming. I keep an eye on it, but that's it.
But couldn't let's just say hypothetically couldn't the government be saying this thing's coming and they're purposely putting these out on the media syndicates, and as it approaches they'll put more and more out, and then they use some kind of technology to show it in the sky and show it in like over certain cities, and then they use the alien card then. I mean, Hillary Clinton is on the record saying, is it time to use the
alien card? Right? No.
So I mean, come on. I mean, if there's any time to use it, I would think now. They're about to get arrested. I mean, it seems like, I mean, I don't know. Wouldn't it be now the opportune time to do it?
Well, that's a very interesting point. Look, we know that there's craft. We know it because it crashed in Roswell. I just showed you the Kumburgaz UFO. We know that these things are real, burgeoning, not going away. But there's a cat and mouse game. Commander David Fravor said that whatever this thing was not from this Earth. Yes, of a secret program, space program. People say that they've been to Mars and back again, but you can't vet any of this stuff. What we can vet is that this is real. And I can tell you something, and I got props all over my desk, but in the book, the last rung on disclosure is number 18. But now it's number 30, let's say, because it hasn't happened yet. If you have a nuclear event, and I've talked to you about this before, if you have a nuclear event that goes off anywhere on this planet, it creates the greatest climate of fear that mankind has ever experienced collectively. Back to Carrie and David Sereda, who were talking about, you know, this amalgamation, this cosmic soup of all these different avatars and religions and everything dovetailing together. What happens if there's a nuclear event that goes off on this planet? It changes everything. It creates the greatest collective fear that humanity has ever experienced in all of history. That's when they show up. And they will say, to David Sereda's point,
show up after the last Hiroshima Nagasaki bomb.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Roswell 47. Hello, right?
Yeah.
And guess where Roswell was? Roswell was at the 509th Bombing Group. And what was the 509th Bombing Group? Those were the guys that dropped the bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's why they're at Roswell. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's all in our film.
So they're trying to time this. The elites, let's say, the people that are going underground in bunkers, whatever, they're trying to time this. They're trying to kick off World War III and then time it with an alien kind of interruption or alien, I wouldn't say invasion, but a kind of like a, hello, we're here. You guys are killing each other. Let us rule your planet. We're your gods. We seeded you. Yeah. Man, they get it all done in one big whop. Yeah. Like the right thing.
That's what the end game is, in my opinion. And I talked about this at the
trouble right now kicking off World War III.
Well, because you got a guy in the White House who doesn't want to do that. Isn't that interesting, right?
Because this will be their play?
Well, something is in the wind. Something is about to happen. I just feel it in my spirit. Maybe it's, you know, the spaghetti and meatball dinner I had a couple of nights ago, which is giving me heartburn and keeping me up. Maybe that's what I'm feeling. I don't know. I say that glibly, but I just have this feeling, this apprehension that something is coming and it's not good. Now, I could be, you know, all wet in the head. And seriously, I don't know. But that's just where I'm at.
The same thing. Right? As a person, my audience feels it the same way. Audience, if you feel it, put a thumbs up. Let me know if you kind of have that sneaky suspicion. That's what Joe Brown says. Sneaky suspicion. I don't know. I feel it. I know my audience feels it. So, do you think before 2030, before 2032, like if you had a time frame, what would you say? What window would you give it?
I think we're going to see something soon. Next month, 2 months, 3 months before the end of the year. I think it's still, the fall. I think it's
Alien? Or are you saying?
I don't know.
Or
I don't know. Nino, I mean, all this, look, this is what we do know. Jesus warns us that there'll be wars and rumors of wars, famines and pestilence, earthquakes in diverse places, troublesome times. All that punch list is full tilt boogie, if I could use that expression. I mean, it's all firing on all 8 cylinders. I'm mixing metaphors here, but it's true. It's all wars and rumors of wars, famine, pestilence, earthquakes in diverse places, troublesome times. We're here. Jerusalem is a cup of trembling to the entire world. Go back 150 years ago, nobody could care about Jerusalem. Go back 1,000 years. Well, okay, the Crusades, I get that, 1,000 years ago. But nobody cared. 200 years ago, nobody cared about Jerusalem. Now it's a cup of trembling. Ain't going away. Are we looking at prophecy being fulfilled? Isaiah 17, Ezekiel 38, 39? Possibly. Very possibly, and maybe soon. This is why we watch and we don't put a date on something and we don't get everybody all worked up. That's hyperbole. But we watch with cool heads and a calm spirit and, okay, this thing's coming in. Is it, what is it? We don't know. We don't know. If we're all honest, we don't know.
Like, even when David Sarita was showing me the trajectory in this thing, I'm like, but where can we even trust the site he's getting it from? I mean, I don't trust NASA at all. I think, I'm sorry, I just don't. I don't believe any of the photos they show. It's all CGI. I mean, everything I look at, I'm like, okay. I take it with a grain of salt. I mean, I'm sorry, I just do.
Well, and that's problematic because we're at the point in history where you don't know what you're looking at anymore because of CGI. You don't know.
And AI.
Exactly. You don't know.
The odds are stacked against us. There's no way to tell what's real and what's not.
Exactly, which is why, in my opinion, he has to come back and take us out of here. How can you be accountable for something where you can't be? You don't know what you're looking at. Somebody sent me what looked like Stephen Greer, and Greer was stating in this meme that something was going to happen in 72 hours. Some kind of disclosure. So that hasn't happened. So was that completely made up? More than likely. I looked at it. It looked like CGI to me, or AI generated. But this is where we are. I mean, anybody can say anything and you don't know.
There's an AI avatar of me going around where people are actually think I'm trying to swindle him out of or trying to get them to go into massage. It's just crazy, man. So let me ask you something else then. This 3I-Atlas. Can you explain, because and I agree with you, what this means? Because I think the title of the name of this comet or ship or whatever holds a lot of water on this. You want to go ahead and go into that for my...
I'd love to. This is conjecture. Conjecture. Underline the word conjecture. I can't prove it. But when I heard, 3I-Atlas, I kind of went, gee, what an odd name, Why did they name it that? So I sat on that for a while and ruminated on it. And so let's walk through it. Atlas is a Nephilim, Greek god. He's a Nephilim. And what is he doing? Atlas is being cursed, and he's holding the earth, which is not it's not a plane, it's not flat, because it's a globe. He's not holding up a pizza. He's holding up a globe. So first of all, whatever this thing is, it's going to be a global event. Conjecture. Please remember, this is conjecture. So 3I. What is 3I? Third eye. Third eye Atlas. What is the third eye? The gateway, supposedly, to enlightenment. But it's a false enlightenment, because I've already done all that. I was with a guru. My third eye was open. Yeah, you see stuff. Yeah, you can pop in, all that kind of stuff. You can have spirit guides. It never deals with the sin nature. Only Christianity deals with the sin nature. And most people don't want to hear about the sin nature. But it's there. And it's in you, and it's in me. It makes people really uncomfortable. But so what is this? Third Eye Atlas. It's a global event. It's a global enlightenment event. Everybody on the earth is touched with this in some way. Interesting. And, folks, put that on the back burner. Don't run with it. L.A. Marzulli thinks it's going to be a global event. Oh my God, this is the end of the road for the hill. Run for the hill. I'm not saying that, but just put it on the back burner. It could be. Then again, most likely it's not. That's just how I'm reading it. But they always telegraph, don't they? It's funny when you look at the 2024 Super Bowl app. Hello down there. It is absolutely in your face. They are telegraphing full disclosure, and it's a global event, and it's a global event.
Predictive, and also, not to mention just the Super Bowl. Was the halftime show?
Yeah, it's the 2024 Super Bowl halftime show. Hello down there. It's on YouTube. The 2024 Super Bowl.
But I mean, also the predictive programming with Ancient Aliens.
Well, Ancient Aliens has been talking about this, the Arrival. I mean, the movie like The Arrival and all this other stuff. They're constantly throwing this up to the public, so the public is numb to it. Oh, yeah, it's like the late Dr. Roger Leary used to make a joke, and he said, if a UFO landed on the 405 freeway, everybody would be ticked off because they're getting home late for dinner. No one cares about and he's right. I mean, it was a little glib, tongue-in-cheek on his part, but in some ways he's absolutely right. It's like we've been so inundated with it that nobody cares. Oh, there it is. Yeah. You should roll that clip so people can see it. I'll walk you through as you're doing it. This is a global event. So there's the, UFO in New York City, right over the skyline, mile-wide UFO. And she sees that proof of extraterrestrial, doesn't want that.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So she's too consumed with
the phone, right? Too consumed with the phone. And she's happy now because she's watching the cat play with the toilet paper and all this stuff, and they're trying to use attention. Right. But directly over her head is a mile-wide UFO. Now it switches to Paris, France. Okay? Oh, I'm sorry. That's Texas. Oh, you're going too fast. What happened?
Yeah. But look, everyone's on their phones.
Everyone's on their phones. That's all. No one's looking up. Nobody's doing anything. Celebrity bacon diet. And meanwhile, a dog in a pickup truck is looking up, barking because there's a UFO over the head. In Paris, France, if you scroll back a little bit, in Paris, a little further, should be right before that. Oh boy, that's a different ad. That's really different. Wow, that's interesting. Because it's supposed to it goes to France. So keep scrolling. Maybe they change it. Oh yeah, this is only 30 seconds. Yeah. This isn't the real one. That's why. It's a global event. They go to France, and there's a UFO hovering over the Eiffel Tower. Everybody's on their cell phone, tablets, computers. Nobody's looking. Finally, the alien presses the button, hello down there, and everybody's cell phone, tablet goes, hello down there, and you see the aliens waving like this. In other words, they're telling us that, look, there it is. It's a 1.5-minute commercial at the Super Bowl. Millions and millions of dollars. There he goes. Notice the elongated skull. Hello down there. There's everybody's phone. Everybody. Now watch her face when she looks up. Awe, wonder, right? And because this is the end. They basically cut a minute out of the whole thing.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess your point. Right.
Right. There it is. There it is. That's predictive programming, correct? Yeah, that's predictive programming.
Are you ready for this, or are they just saying, or are they saying the obvious, where everyone's just on their phones too much? But that's not what it is.
No,
it's saying they're programming people.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what I think it is. And notice her fate.
And just like the Super Bowl where everyone was sick in their beds, and then 2020 happened, and we went to that, but we don't know if this happened.
Yeah, isn't that interesting, right? They telegraphed it.
Yes.
They telegraphed it. They have to. There's some...
before they do it.
Absolutely.
Why is that?
Because the protocols of the heavenly war are that. And don't ask me and people, that's conspiracy theory, LA, you can't possibly prove it. Yeah, but when it happens over and over and over again, you start to go, because it happened at the Super Bowl, right? Or it was the Olympic, the opening ceremony to the Olympic
ceremony of the Olympics. Sure.
Just watch that. You tell me why are they making this? Why is this? And then you look at the last one, the Last Supper, with all this craziness going on, right? What are they
accused of?
Yeah, and wacky stuff, right?
Wacky stuff.
Man. They tell
me doing alien coming down from the sun or whatever it was. Yeah, predictive programming right there again.
And I know we've got our tinfoil hats on. I'm going to put mine on now. You know, I mean, there you go, right? And it's a vicinity, you know, if you start,
One of those, man.
no, you absolutely, you got to, when we start talking about this stuff. But the bottom line is this: something is coming, something is happening. And some of these people that are in charge or were in charge, are there ties to the Luciferian elite? People can poo poo that, but in my opinion, they are. You know, the Third Reich was never talked about, really. They were steeped in the occult, steeped in the occult. I mean, to the point where there was a castle in Germany, I forget the name of it. It's Russ Dizdar was there and actually prayed down in the, not the dungeon, but the lower ritualistic chamber for the first time. He sat there and prayed for like 20 minutes. They used to have the skulls of the Nephilim in these little niches all the way around. Above it is a black sun on the floor directly above it. These guys were steeped in the occult. They knew who it was that they served. And the problem with Operation Paperclip at the end of World War II, all those Nazi scientists came in. Not all of them were steeped in the occult. I get that. But how many of them were? And why did we take this poison literally into our country? And ever since then, things have been a little wonky. I mean, I think we can all admit that, right?
100%.
Just a little wonky. And, you know, now we're in 2025. They get the 2024 Super Bowl thing. Is that predictive programming? Well, in my opinion, it is. And notice when she looks up, she's like this. She's like, her face is one of wonder. She's not afraid. She's like, oh my gosh, they're here. And what was David Sarita and Carrie saying, you know, that this whole amalgamation of all the different religions, it's when they show up, that's what the other side of the aisle believes. And that's what they've been promulgating for decades. And of course, that's what they're going to believe. As a Christian, we don't. There's only one God.
We believe it's going to be deception.
It's total deception. Jesus says, let no man deceive you. Even the elect would be deceived. That Satan, the dragon, comes with all signs and lying wonders. Folks, whatever is coming is beyond anything you can even imagine. And, you know, they can have Project Bluebeam till the cows come home. It's going to pale in comparison. Look, if you get mile-wide craft, and this is why the 2024 Super Bowl is so important, you showed a little clip of it, but the bottom line is, you get mile-wide craft over the cities of the world, everything's off. You remember how COVID shut everything down? That's exactly what would happen. Everything grinds to a stop. No one goes to work. The leaders of the world come together. You know, they start going, you know, you can't, and this will happen right after a nuclear event. That's when I think that's the trigger. A nuke goes off, and that's when they show up en masse over the cities of the world. Hey, wait a minute, guys.
So we created you. So, but see, I still think it's us. I still think it's going to be us. It's going to be our governments that come together. Okay, let's set off the nuke and then send in the spaceships. You know what I mean? That's what I think.
Yeah, but it can't be global. They could do it over one or two cities, but not global.
Yeah, but if all the TV stations and internet and all trios are recording it, there it is. So what do you think about this thing having a... So this is what I'm confused about. This 3I-Atlas has a light source. I thought all comets have a light source.
All comets have a tail. So let's say here's the comet. They have a tail like this. This, whatever this thing is, doesn't have a tail. So let's say now it's here, coming this way, right? It's got a light source in front of it, going like this. One thing I found interesting from David Sarita, where he talked about this person with a very high-powered telescope that took a shot of it, and this thing looked like, you know, some sort of a craft. It did not look like a comet at all. Remember that? I thought that was really interesting. Really interesting.
I'm going to ask you something probably so amateur, but I've never gotten a real response or someone educated. Like for me, they've always sidestepped the question. I want to know from you, isn't space a vacuum?
Space is a vacuum. But here's something to think about. What if we live in some sort of a holographic universe, right? What if that adds along?
But hold on, that adds up to me, and I always feel like too. The sun could be a port. All right, I think all this stuff is because doesn't fire need oxygen to burn? So how is the sun? I'll just say, how's anything burning in a vacuum?
Well, that's beyond. I get it. That's beyond my pay grade. But the sun,
But that's a valid question, correct?
and where and how did the sun even, I mean, when you look at just our little goofy solar system, I mean, does it make sense to me? That makes no sense to anyone.
One thing I ask everyone, I go, how is anything burning in the space when it's supposedly a vacuum? It needs oxygen to burn. So, excuse me, I don't know. I may sound dumb right now to a lot of people, but is that an intelligent question? It is a sense question.
No, it is, and this is why. I mean, there's something I say all the time. No one knows what this is or where we are in it. Nobody knows.
I agree.
Nobody knows.
That's why I think NASA, because it contradicts itself all the time. I'm like, okay, well, I don't know. I do believe, can we just all say we don't know?
Well, that's what we need to do. But circling back to whatever's coming in, there seems to be this globe of something in front of it. So there's no tail like a comet. There's something in front of this thing. It's like a heat deal. Something, and they were talking about it's CO2 because there's 10 million people on board. This is all conjecture. How do you know there's 10 million people on board that?
Yeah, but how are they measuring that if space is a vacuum?
Well, that's the other thing.
So that's just, I don't know.
Let me just do something real quick here. Is space a vacuum? Question mark. The results. Yes, space is generally considered a vacuum because its pressure and density of matter are extremely low, making it nearly empty compared to Earth's atmosphere. Though it's not a perfect vacuum. While we commonly refer to it as a vacuum, space contains scattered particles, radiation, and fundamental forces with density of these components varying depending on the region, such as interstellar or intergalactic space. So that's kind of interesting. So it's both yes and no. Strictly speaking, space is not a vacuum because there are a few molecules floating around. However, it can also be a vacuum in industrial terms since it is defined as a pressure of one. So it's the bottom line is,
but they don't know either.
They don't know either. Nobody.
Well, yes and no. I mean, I don't know. They didn't really answer.
Nino, something is coming, and I just want to reiterate to our watchers, to your folks and the folks that are watching on our YouTube channel, just so you know where I'm at. Let's start with the rapture. In 1988, there was a gentleman who put out a book, 88 Reasons Why the Rapture Will Happen in 88. It didn't happen in 1988, and it may not happen in 2025. Then again, it could, but I keep my hand on the plow. I do what I do. I get up in the morning. I work hard. I play hard, do the whole deal. I live my life to the fullest, not running off to a mountain. I keep all this, whatever's coming in on the solar system, all of this on the back burner. I keep an eye on it. I keep an eye on signs of the rapture because we're told to look up. I get that. Watch and be ready. We're admonished. I'm watching. I'm ready. I hope it is on the 23rd of September. But if it's not, I'm not disappointed because I'm not holding this date as it's got to happen here. So there was a gentleman who wrote me some, he had charts and mathematics and all this stuff and all sorts of scripture. And he was saying that the rapture is going to happen tomorrow on September 8th. That's his date setting. And I just, well, thank you for that. I'm not buying into it. I'm watching. I'm ready. I'm looking at the signs. All the signs, in my opinion, are here. We could be in the window where he could take us home. I understand that. I mean, but if you're a non-millennialist, if you don't believe in prophecy, then you aren't even looking. There's only a remnant of people that are looking. So my final words would be, put it on the back burner, watch, be ready. Don't let it run your life. End of story.
LA, do you ever go to Roswell again? Look me up, man. I want to go.
No, we should go. That'd be a hoot.
I mean, let's do it. I would put it on Instagram, everything, man. It would be so fun.
It was, let me tell you a quick story. The month before we went, the Lord had me in Psalm 121. And one of the lines is, the sun will not beat down upon, the Lord is a shade over your right hand. The Lord is a shade over your right hand. The sun will not beat down upon you by day or the moon by night. So we're there in the Roswell field. This is all on film. We're flying a drone and we show it, right? It's supposed to be like 95 degrees. This is in the middle of nowhere. And the debris field is in, if you don't know where it is, you'll never find it. It's in the middle of nowhere. literally. And there's nothing around for miles. So it's supposed to be like 95 degrees. We got tons of water, got the sunscreen on, directly over us the entire time, the 3 hours, 4 hours that we are in the Roswell debris field. There is a cloud over us, right? Blocking the sunlight. So it's like Frank Kimber goes, you know, I've been out here like 20 times. This is the best weather we've ever had. And I just start laughing. I'm going like, oh my God. You know, it's the Lord just blessing our steps, giving us favor. Oh, that's just coincidence. I'm like, oh, really? Why don't you go to Roswell and tell me if you have a cloud? You know, and around us, it was raining. Parts, it was unbelievable. It was just unbelievable.
That's insane.
Really cool.
Well, LA, stay with me for a second. Where do people find you, LA?
LAMarzulli.com, rungsofdisclosure.com, LAMarzulli.com. 32 films, 14 books, 15 is out in March.
LAMarzulli.com, Rungs of Disclosure. All right, folks. All right, LA, stay with me just for a second.
You got it. Thanks, Nino.